It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
I don't want to be showering, trying to get into a zen, right? And then have shampoo pouring down from the container, right?
Right.
I don't know why these hauntings in my head aren't actually hurting me.
That's how they would haunt you. They'd just help you wash your hair.
Darn you, Razgoo the demon.
Was that Razgoo?
Yeah, Razgoo. He's Italian.
And Steve.
So in your world, your house is haunted by Razgoo the Italian demon.
Shampooing my hair.
Got it. So it's just a minor inconvenience, a little bit of an insult too because of, the whole hair situation.
Oh, obviously.
Now, here they are, two guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
After we recorded last week, I think I sent you a text that simply said Razgoo.
Right.
And then we debated, is that the best of all time of the fictional characters that we come up with from time to time? All the time on this podcast. And we both agreed. If it's not number one, it's definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
It'd be hard to remove it from the hypothetical top three, let alone the Mount Rushmore. The only other one, and this is not doing enough due diligence, Steve, the only other one I could think of that would compete would be Solstice Sammy.
Solstice Sammy or Seasonal Sammy, depending on what you want to call him.
But overall, Razgoo, the Italian demon who shampoos you in the shower, has to be there.
Yeah.
For what we've done. So yes, if anybody has that ability, I just do it for fun. I was messing around with the AI generator a couple of times during the week, but if anybody has that capability in terms of art and the desire, I would love to see what people come up with for Razgoo the Italian demon.
Yeah, the ones that you came up with, he kind of had a similar appearance to, who was the bad guy in Ghostbusters? Was it Zod? No, I'm thinking of...
No, I do not think you're that far off.
Like the long white hair.
Right. Ghost.
What was his name? He was the one in the painting.
This is a safe space, right? Between you and I?
Yeah.
Not a big Ghostbusters fan.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I'm
That's looked at as one of those 80s classics, right? And you're talking to a guy who I adore movies. Adore them. I watch hundreds of them a year. I rewatch, try to make up or fill those voids of classics that I haven't seen that I should.
Vigo, by the way. Okay. I think I was thinking of General Zod.
I was going to say, when I was looking for the Ghostbusters villain, it came up with Gozer.
No, but the one that I'm specifically here, I'll throw it up on the Tron so you can see it.
Vigo, I see him now.
Yeah, this guy here.
Yes, okay. That is a beautiful version. Yes, Razgoo is some form of that.
Razgoo is, Vigo also. That sounds Italian, right?
Right.
They probably lived next to each other in the old country.
So an artistic rendering of Vigo from Ghostbusters with a gold chain around his shirtless upper body that is now again has body hair.
Plumes of chest hair.
As described on the podcast, from navel to neck. With a tattoo of his name across his chest.
Razgoo. Again.
Razgoo. That's
now, I think after we recorded too, we really started honing in on Razgoo's appearance.
Yeah.
I don't think that this was part of the podcast, but I wanted him to have a tattoo that was the outline of the map of Italy, like the boot, and then shaded in the Italian flag colors. I don't think that that's too much to ask. I know that they used to be able to buy those stickers on the Jersey Shore boardwalk. I believe that ex-girlfriend Kim had one of them on her car.
Oh, of course she did. That's how she attracted busboy scum. I'll post that on the poll too. Do you attract busboy scum with Italian bumper stickers?
But yes, Razgoo, yeah, definitely Mount Rushmore, possibly greatest ever.
Yeah,
I also liked, well, we had Corn Man and Scare Corn.
that's right. That was another impressive effort.
Yeah. A lot going on.
I'm still efforting. I would love to get that on some merch. I'm doing my best with my limited artistic capabilities and having a 5-year-old at home as well.
And by limited artistic abilities, you mean typing in to an AI generator and then throwing your hands up and saying, "What do you got for me?"
No, nothing else I can do now. Yeah, pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. And that's why I always, I hate to use the term farm out, but like the assistance or at least ideas on, I mean, listen, we've had other listeners assist with which AI generators are better because I was using simpleton ones that could never get a hand correct.
It does seem to struggle with hands and any words.
Still does.
Text, it just struggles with. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure that by the time this podcast is out there will be 50 new AI generators that are better at it and mining for our information and just waiting to attack.
I had a couple of updates I needed to give in regards to very recent topics that have centered around me on this podcast. But before that, I want to ask on the topic of AI generators and its apparent inability to manufacture a hand. Where are you at? Let's call it 2 to 3 years in to what I would label the AI. I hate to use the word craze.
Yeah.
But the AI fever, right?
Sure.
To where it started to become a thing and where people thought, this is going to either 1, kill us, 2, put us all out of work, or 3, which seemed to be the minority, make all of our lives better. Where are you today compared to where you were when this started becoming a thing, right? Because, and I'm not saying AI is a new thing, right? I mean, we're talking, I mean,
it's been around forever.
Decade. I mean, there was the movie AI, the 1990s, I believe, Robin Williams sci-fi movie. So this isn't a new concept, but it feels like the ability of it, the capability of it is somewhat new. That it's really rounding into what people thought it might be back in Terminator.
Yeah.
Right? Its abilities.
I'm not that worried.
You're still not?
Yet.
Okay.
I understand that it's advancing faster than we could possibly control it. So eventually, is it going to be an issue? Probably.
Right.
But I like to bury my head in the sand, much the way that you did when during the Fast Five some 4.5 years ago, I said to you, "Coronavirus, you worried about it?" And you said, "Nah."
If I remember, the audio clip had an audible.
Yeah, I think you did make a fart noise.
Yeah,
and go. Meh.
Yeah, and then we obviously went back and edited out the part where I went, "Oh, what are a few people not going to get the sniffles?"
Yeah. Yeah, head in the sand. I'm just ignorance is bliss for me until it directly affects me or my family or my loved ones or whatever. I don't know. For all the stories you hear about, it's going to take over the world. There's always the one where it's like, look, it can generate cat photos when you're sad. Right. And you're like, oh, see? Yeah. You take the good with the bad.
Like while the bomb is hitting, a mile from my house, I'm going to be showing somebody a picture of what AI did for Razgoo the Italian demon.
Yeah, you're going while wearing your Razgoo shirt.
Yes.
It was printed, packaged, and sent to you without a human interaction at all.
Not a cell in sight from how my Razgoo merch was manufactured.
Now, I've always held the stance, too, about AI and robots taking over the world and everything is just deprive them of the power source, and we're fine. So the computer that's doing the AI magic, unplug it. Yeah, it can't produce its own power,
right?
I mean, unless can AI teach it to? It can't just make power out of nowhere, right?
I mean, do we take the good with the bad? If the AI can fix our, a burgeoning power situation in terms of the power grid, do we just deal with being their indentured servants for the remainder of humanity?
I mean, are utility costs going down?
Right.
Cost of living. Is Texas going to lose power for weeks at a time every summer?
It feels like I should be going the opposite way. When I was younger, I was more invested in like political stuff, cared more about it. I feel like when I was a teenager. And now I just had to.
You just sounded like you were the coolest kid in the world.
I was such a cool. I had so many dates. I mean, I was talking to town, head full of hair.
Driving around in that Cavalier
with the bra right in the front.
Driving your white Cavalier with the bra to your young Republicans meet up on the weekends.
Those 2 doors, and that was a pleather bra right in the front. Right. Okay, but lest you forget, if the women only saw the front, they just had to wait for me to blow past them so they could see the Euro taillights.
Oh, the Altezas.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm going the opposite way, Steve. Yeah. And I feel like it's almost too overwhelming. If you today decided to concern yourself with all of the things in the world that might end us, right? There's AI, there's war, there's etc. I had to unfollow a Hollywood celebrity just on social media the other day because a lot of the reposts from her were the doomiest and gloomiest of climate stuff. And I know personally, I can't do anything outside of like stopping to spray all the hairspray into the sky, right. Which honestly, that's just my favorite weekday activity.
Right. Yeah.
I can't stop that yet. I don't know what I can do or be a part of that's going to stop, the core from melting us off the earth.
Sure.
Right?
It's going to take a bigger effort than just one of us.
Right.
Or so just a handful of us.
But now there's 2 of us talking about it. So I want to bring you on board with the climate.
All right.
I can't do it. I don't have the capacity right now for it. And I think
it's tough.
I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Am I going to start walking around in diapers and be a child? Am I reverting? I'm caring less now.
The only thing that really gives me peace of mind is knowing that every generation has had some form of this. Mm-hmm.
What was the 1960s doom and gloom? Do you think? Like if you had to text Hobie or your mom and say in the 1960s, like if you probably have to explain it. Our parents are older. Yeah. What was quote, this might be the end of the world if we don't stop or fix it now.
Like Cold War with the Russians.
Right? Nuclear bombs. Yeah, that whole probably 30, 40-year period probably would have been nuclear bombs. Yeah. I mean, we're complaining about a few degrees on the Earth's core. Back then they had Hitler. Right? What's bigger?
Who wins in that fight?
Oh, boy. Hitler or a melting core?
Hitler or the
melting Earth? All right, yeah, I'll post it on the poll.
Good, yeah. That's the algorithm I want to be looped into.
Yeah, I don't know if we are friends with that Milo guy.
Yano Lapolupidolus.
But yeah, he's going to start popping up on our feed now.
Who was the celebrity, by the way, that you had to unfollow?
She just an actress from a TV show that I liked called The Leftovers. Her name is Carrie Coon.
Okay.
Conveniently enough, in the most recent Ghostbusters.
Hey, look at that. That's what we call full circle. Here.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do I feel bad about that? Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm just tucking my head. I'm flamingoing these massive situations. But the alternative, Steve, is me running through the grocery store on my way to get an energy drink this morning going, we're all doomed.
Right, yeah.
Heating up too fast.
Yeah, head in the sand.
So, yeah, I'm going to stick my head in the sand.
I am, I think I have resigned myself to the fact that life is going to be hell for, like, my great-grandkids. Then again, I'm not going to know them.
Right.
Because there would have to be some real fast turnaround for me to know my great-grandkids.
I've got enough brain slippage as well.
Yeah.
That even if I am around when great-grandkids are born, it's going to be a day-to-day. Who's this again? What are they doing here?
Oh, I'm just gonna mess with them. I hope I have the sharpest mind in the world. I'll be like, I don't know who you are. I pooped my pants again. Get me pudding.
Boy, it feels Fringe Cosby.
Well, he got away with it.
That's right.
He's old.
That's right. You just got to tell him you got glaucoma.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't see anything.
Yeah. But 2 years later, it's cured. I'm going on tour.
Yeah, you're never gonna believe this. I'm doing theaters.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a few brief updates on some things that we had talked about in my world. I believe both last week or maybe in recent weeks.
Okay.
So let me ask you, which one would you prefer to get to first, just in case we do run out of time? Would you prefer to discuss the possibility that I was considering of a Cold War in my neighborhood?
Oh, yes.
Or would you prefer to discuss my 5K, which is 6 days away?
Oh, boy. Are we going to get to both of them in this episode?
I would hope so, but again, you never know what we're doing. I mean, listen, we didn't sit down last week and have on a piece of paper Razgoo, the Italian demon who shampoos your hair and can only haunt a bathroom. But that's the way the cookie crumbled 1 week ago. So
as we discussed, hauntings that can only happen inside.
Right.
The obvious outliers are the cemetery.
Yeah. So
cemeteries outdoors, they can be haunted. Yes.
There is. So there's a decent chance that in 8 minutes we're talking about how we both want to be hunting antelopes, on Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? Native creatures.
So they're native to the Black Hills.
Can you climb Mount Rushmore? Mountain, right? Like, can I say I'm going for a hike? Just going over to Rushmore for a quick one. I'm gonna,
scale Washington's nose.
Yeah, I want to get a vertical look down Lincoln's beak.
I don't think so. I think that is. I think it's off limits. But then again, I have zero basis for saying that.
I feel like that's a. I mean, it's
so
a
like
mountain,
you want to stand on the head and look down.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just want to see how big that horn really is. You know what I mean? You're a little honk.
Yeah.
So of those two, which would you think is the priority?
I think I'd like your 5K update.
Okay.
So again, 6 days away. So next Saturday, the 12th?
13th.
You're going to be suiting up, tying up the old running shoes, and hitting the ground running.
Yeah. So I had taken what a lot of people's advice has been, which is make sure your shoes are good. Mm-hmm. Right. So I did. I upgraded shoes.
That's big.
I paid the big bucks for one of the big brands at the Hokas that people say are worth it. And boy, were they ever right.
Yeah? You like them?
Spending 20 years buying nothing but cheap shoes was putting my adult self at such a disadvantage.
Yeah.
In terms of just general comfort.
You think that's what's been holding you back?
No, but I do believe that over the years that's been a cause of like the shin splints.
Yeah.
It hasn't assisted, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, Steve, as we are 6 days away from this,
all right, so
this 5K.
So let's see. You're tapering then.
What's that?
All right. Well, that's a bad sign.
Like Scotch taper or duct taper, or
we'll come back to that.
We need a rundown on that before Saturday. Then I'm pretty content that a lot of people walk these.
Okay, that's not a great sign.
Came home the other night, and Katie was sitting there on the couch and took my earbuds out. Because if you run without an audio or something in your head, you need to be on an FBI watch list.
Oh.
I don't know how people do that without
listening. That was me.
You would just go.
I would raw dog the hell out of running.
So traffic, people, didn't matter.
Well, a lot of times I would run with a group, so we'd be talking most of the time.
Oh, God, shut your mouths. Okay. No breath in your lungs and someone was going, "Hey, how was that linguine last night?"
That's what we always talk about too.
Shut the hell up, Brad. Let's talk about this in 6 miles, right?
Okay. So,
send me a text about the linguine. I'm not talking about it as we cross an intersection of a road.
All right, good to know. So, note to self: next time you and I are running together,
right? Training.
I'm not going to ask you about the linguine, Brad.
I came home, took my earbuds out, and said to Katie, "I just don't think I'm cut out for running."
That good, huh? That good of a run.
And she is, to her credit, an angel. She is, you haven't been running very much. It takes a while. You don't just like start by running 5-6 miles at a time, which, by the way, not my goal. The pipe dream before I had initially hurt my calf would have been to run exactly 3.1 miles and not 3.12 miles.
Yeah, no.
That's it.
So you're going to start at the start line, stop at the finish line.
Correct.
Nothing in between. Nothing before or after.
No, nothing. I don't need to train for 1 foot more than that.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So, but when I hurt the calf, obviously that put a bit of a damper on what I was able to do. So then I finally got the new shoes. And I have to tell you, calf pain, still there. New shoes, though. Like I can jog, walk without calf pain while I'm doing it.
Hey, look at that.
A real improvement.
Have you used the stick anymore?
Have.
Okay.
It's really sore still.
I feel like you might have to go to a doctor at this point.
Katie watched that video. And because when I had never used the stick. Yeah. So if you don't know the video we're talking about, it's on our social media at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Steve tried to roll out my calf issue.
Think of the stick as a rolling pin, but you use it on sore muscles.
Right. Yeah, that's precisely it.
Yeah.
And Steve used it on my calf, and that was my first and only experience with the stick at that point or anything like that. So when I got home and I was telling Katie about it, she goes, "Oh yeah, I'd heard of those things." She said, "Can you try it on mine?" I said, "Great, yeah." And so I tried.
Was she sore or did she? Okay.
I wouldn't say like bad sore, like nothing,
but just
like
general muscle soreness from a workout or a run or whatever.
My only experience was what it felt like you did to my calf. So I got down on hands and knees and replicated to my nearest ability what you had done. And it was about 3 seconds before she essentially said, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you doing that so hard?"
And I need to tell you, I didn't, like, it may have felt like I was giving you the business.
Yeah.
But after, let's see, I remember when I would be in the throes of marathon training.
Yeah.
You would have somebody like putting their body weight on that thing to roll it out, and it hurt like hell.
Yeah, it feels like you'd be UFC like tapping out,
Yeah. But the difference that it would make was night and day.
Oh. So we have been walking / running. When I say walk, by the way, I'm walking at a estimated
brisk
4 to
pace.
4.5 mile per hour clip,
yeah,
right?
It's a nice pace.
So for a walk, I think that's what they would recommend for a walk, right? And then I'll jog. And speaking to what Katie said, you're not just going to be a runner. I feel like I've got a 1/4 mile at a time before I am trying to catch my breath.
Okay.
Hate it. Hate everything about it.
Yeah, as you should. Running's terrible.
So my brother sent me a similar text to what you asked, which is, how's it going, etc. And I told him the same thing. I said, you know what? I think a lot of people walk these things. So currently,
that's
in
the goal.
6 days, that's my plan.
Okay.
I would adore
getting
this thing done. That's 3.1 miles?
3.1 miles.
I'd love to get it done in 40.
Oh, if you don't do 40, you're just a loser.
Well, as we talked about, the 4 mile per hour walk would be 15 minutes. Yeah. At 3.1, that'd be 46 to 47 minutes.
How about we set some kind of goal for you? And there's some kind of, I don't know, we need like some kind of reward system in place.
Okay, so like a carrot.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you thought about, do you want a hat with a carrot dangling off the front of it?
Boy, I got to tell you, if you're dangling a carrot in front of me, probably run the other way.
Not a fan, huh?
No incentive to move forward for that.
Carrots are fine,
idea.
but I'm not getting motivated for a carrot.
Right. What is a goal based on what you know about, me deciding to tackle this kind of out of nowhere, just to kind of do something with my wife and not be such a filthy slob. And now knowing that I lasted 1.3 miles running in bad shoes before injuring myself, but have been walk/running and biking for 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 to 6 nights a week.
I think you can do it in between 35 and 36 minutes.
Get the out of here.
Kyle, you had sent me a text before we started recording today saying, "Hey, why don't we bring back something from the past?"
Yes.
So without further ado,
Fast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
yeah, it's been a while.
Now we have a laundry list of things to get to in addition to this.
Do we?
But half the time we say let's do Fast 5. We both make Fast 5 lists, and then we run out of time for the Fast 5. Mm-hmm. So Fast 5, as it's intended, bang bang.
Oh yeah. We're getting right through it this time.
This thing, this is going to be done in 90 seconds between the two of us.
Yeah.
So would you like to go first, or would you like me?
Yeah,
to go
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, first on the list, Hawk to a Girl.
Whew. Never felt older.
Do you know who she is?
I do now.
Okay.
Again, never felt older.
Okay, next the Paris Olympics, which is 6 weeks away or so, 5 weeks away.
Sit here and tell you I'm not excited. In by the way, 3 weeks. We were just talking about this. Didn't know this was on your Fast 5. We were just talking about this. Opening ceremony, July 26th.
Oh, wow.
2.5 weeks away.
Thought it was August.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks away, but it goes for about 3 weeks. So, yeah, we're going to try to get our buddy Greg Meskel on. Talk to him while he's over there.
But talking WP. Water polo, of course.
Still waiting on the bone bed or the bone box that we were supposed to get from... Where was it during COVID?
Was that Rio?
No, this was like, I believe, Asia.
Oh, I don't know.
Still waiting.
I don't remember.
But... We digress. I'll end up being there. Most nights I'll end up having that on the TV, I bet. I just do. It's just kind of in the background
noise.
And I'll watch it, yeah.
All right, next. Oh, boy. I know that you are up on this. I know how big of a fan of NASCAR you are. And electric vehicles. The new NASCAR EV was unveiled.
Okay. Boy, exciting times. So are they going to take 30-minute breaks to supercharge?
Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, read nothing about it.
A few things in terms of like automobiles that we could just leave gasoline, and I feel like racing's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you get rid of all other gasoline stuff, you can.
Plus, isn't there something to be said about going to a NASCAR race? Never been. And having those stock car engines absolutely annihilate your eardrums as they rip around the corner at 200 plus miles per hour.
Yeah, it wouldn't really be the same. It was just like
a hum. By the way, every time I see someone weed whacking, edging, or mowing with a battery lawn tool, very skeptical of you. I think you're a terrorist.
Well, guess I won't tell you what I plan on doing later on today once we're done recording the podcast.
Something to be said about having to rip that cord, have the blade smack you in the shin because it's, 18 pounds weighed downward.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds great.
A lawn experience that is just meant for, that's how you grow into an adult.
All right, and next, Bronny James.
Yeah, call me a cynic. I am. I feel bad being part of the internet horde piling on. Hard to imagine this is something that's happening, and we're all just supposed to accept it as a normal thing that's happening right now.
Seems a little sus, as the kids would say.
To call him a fringe NBA prospect was being somewhat generous after he, nearly died on a basketball court less than
he had a
2 years ago.
Just like you.
Yeah. And the stats he put up this past year in college, and then still to get drafted, still to get a guaranteed. Very weird.
A little bit.
Very weird. Mystery. Wonder how it happened.
Yeah. And finally, going along with the sports theme, the WNBA.
Oh, thank God. Finally. So the Commissioner's Cup just wrapped up last week. And as Steve, that's the big in-season tournament to determine bonuses and to encourage active participation.
Is this a serious thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's called the Commissioner's Cup. Big idiot. I have jumped on board. And I mean jumped all the way on board.
Really?
With following the WNBA this year.
Okay.
Maybe it's the Caitlin Clark thing, but I find myself just watching whatever one is on. I can't stand the NBA.
Okay.
I tried it. It's not enjoyable for me. Whether it's the players, the pace, does not matter. I don't care to investigate it any further. Mm-hmm. I just don't care. I'll bet on it. I'll see if I won or lost those bets the next day. Don't care.
All right.
Find myself looking at the WNBA schedule though to see what time some games are on and where they're going to be. Now the problem here, Steve, glad you asked, with the WNBA is their distribution rights.
Yeah,
a lot of them are
great,
NBA
right?
TV related. A lot of them are standard TV. They'll be on ESPN, ESPN2,
mm-hmm.
Amazon Prime. Some of them are WNBA League Pass. There's only 12 teams. I shouldn't need 5 services to guarantee to be able to watch 12 total teams. That's at most 6 games.
So there's not a like NFL Sunday Ticket-esque.
It is. It's the WNBA League Pass. But if that's anywhere else, like Amazon, like ESPN, they can't show that. So much like Sunday Ticket, if it's the nationally televised game, NFL Sunday Ticket cannot broadcast that game either.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Same thing with WNBA League Pass. So you're still searching up and down just to find all these matches. It's an abomination to have to find. Mm-hmm. But this thing has absolutely taken off this past year.
Yeah.
And I have enjoyed watching the games I do watch. The shooting is terrible. Genuinely horrific. I've never seen more missed bunnies and layups and 8 to 12 footers in my life.
Okay.
Does not take away from my enjoyment of the product.
All right.
Are there a boatload of 53 to 48s at the end of the third quarter? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. But you're talking to someone who, again, lost his hair 15 years ago. Back when I had a full head of hair, I loved the NBA. Okay? We're talking the Detroit Pistons of the early aughts who were winning playoff games 76 to 67. So overall, this is my basketball. Okay?
It just took you a long time to find it.
Yeah, and to the credit, I'm not like discounting what she's done. It's probably because Caitlin Clark is now in the league and the rookies seem to have personality and they actually seem to be excelling.
Yeah.
So that's why I've tuned in. I love it. I adore it. Watching those rebounds and the 10-minute quarters, it blows by. It's fun. It's fun. Okay. So, like, watching some of these games, though, and by the way, I would have never anticipated the physicality that a lot of these games have. And I think that a lot of them made the news, a lot of because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
The hard fouls, the trash talking, being in each other and everybody's faces. But this product has taken on, like, a whole new life that, for the first time in forever, the teams might actually start making money.
That's good.
Which is insane to think about, but the WNBA forever has been funded by the NBA and its teams.
Yeah.
And as a kind of an outreach gesture to ensure the stability of women's basketball. But they've lost money. But it's, you know, I'm sure the billionaires are somehow profiting off of that to be able to write it off.
Yeah, if you lose money, that means you make money somehow.
But yeah, to see it's also very cool to see packed arenas. And when I mean arenas, I'm talking the 20,000 seat arenas that the teams normally don't play in. Right. They're moving these games to the larger arenas in town to ensure that tickets can be sold and to watch the little kids be able to see these games and actually enjoy them. Whereas a lot of times they wouldn't be able to go that and wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Can I get you on board? You want to pick a team?
Oh, boy.
You want to pick a team? I'll give you the top, 3 teams.
I don't need it. Okay. I don't need it. I'll take the Phoenix Mercury.
Not a bad choice. Brittany Griner, fresh off the Russia stay.
Diana Taurasi.
You're going to want to say she's 42, so she's not going to be on very long. You're going to want to lay off of the heavy Griner stuff. You never know who you're going to run into in the street. You know where they're going to start yelling at you about the Russia swap and someone is still in Russia and she's not.
Lay off the heavy Griner stuff.
Now, as you mentioned that, I realized I never even really picked a team.
You don't have...
Just a fan of the league. I'm like Rob Lowe in the NFL stands, just wearing an NFL hat.
All right, so gun to your head right now. You got to pick a team. Who is it? 3, 2, 1, go.
Seattle Storm.
Who's on that team?
Rookie is Nika Mule. Oh boy, that's a good question. Well, it's funny. They're fun to watch, though. They just score a lot of points, which a lot of that's based on me seeing the totals that I'm betting on.
Okay. All right. Can you get me on board, though? Boy, basketball has always been a sport that I just couldn't care less about. I've never liked it. I've never had the urge to go out and shoot some hoops. But I'll tell you what. You throw a watch party one night, I'll be there.
Okay. I'll have to make sure I have whatever cable outlet that game deserves or necessitates.
Maybe some chips?
Or it's a league pass. Or
Chips too much to ask?
No, I can get you chips. You want some dip with that?
You know, I'm kind of thinking Doritos. I think Doritos would be a good, nice big bowl of Doritos.
I might even throw like a snack mix with some peanuts in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
People options.
All right. Okay, before that, we had
Turn around
Bronny James.
Yeah, obviously it's a case of nepotism, as we kind of were hinting around. I don't know. It's not like I feel bad for a lot of these college kids who didn't get drafted in his place, because most of those players don't envision success in the NBA or experience success in the NBA.
So he got drafted
that
like
late.
55th?
55th to his dad's team. And yeah, he didn't seem to be a draftable player as of last season.
Yeah.
After the heart issue. So
before that, though, he was like...
He was okay. He was never his dad.
So it was just the hype machine that was...
Accurate, yeah. He was never going to be his dad. Those are the kind of things that people start noticing and calling out when they're 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And he's always had the size. When you're emphasizing how good you are at defense, which is what Bronny James is now known for, you're not going to be a high draft pick.
All right.
Right? It's just not going to happen. So... yeah, it's obvious nepotism, guaranteed contract. Do I feel bad if the Lakers have to pay out a guaranteed contract? Oh no, the poor Los Angeles Lakers who can't afford anything, right?
It's just the whole thing where LeBron didn't announce what he was doing until after the draft, after his son was drafted by them. But imagine if he had chosen to opt out, to leave. Then be like, ugh.
It would have done
You're on your own, kid.
It would have done a little bit. Given a little bit of credence to the idea, though, that he wasn't involved. Yeah. Because that's what his claim was. He didn't talk to the new head coach until 30 minutes after he was offered the job.
Sure, yeah. The coach that you do a podcast with.
Yeah.
It just hadn't come up. The
public tide against LeBron has turned pretty drastically the last 3 to 5 years, just based on all of these clips coming out of him where at press conferences or any type of availability where he's implying... oh, yeah, I sent so-and-so a text before they did this exquisite job on the court, right? And acting like he knew or he was responsible or something, but trying to be humble about it.
Yeah.
He's just an odd dude who's lived his life in front of... in the pantheons of fame for the majority of his life and doesn't know what normal is.
Yeah.
So while he's eye-rollingly weird and... seemingly self-involved.
I think can be said about a lot of professional athletes.
It's impossible to discount that he probably got his own son drafted because he wanted to play with him. He hasn't made a secret about this, that he wanted to play with his son before he retired.
Yeah.
So to imply that he didn't now would be just, I think, a bold-faced lie. Oof.
All right, before that, we had the NASCAR EV. They unveiled it within the last couple of days. The new ABB NASCAR EV.
So again, a big buzz going around the tracks instead of the gigantic motors firing on all pistons and the oil just pumping through.
Let me read. NASCAR says that the car has 3 electric motors, one in the front, 2 in the back.
Does it like transfer power when it's when it needs? I don't care. I forget I asked that. Please forget I asked that.
Powered by a 78 kilowatt hour liquid cooled battery that can generate 1,000 kilowatts at peak power.
Okay, is that
according to the announcement? There is let's see.
God damn it! I don't care. I asked again. I'm trying to be the yes and guy, and I wish I didn't. I'm
That's,
sorry.
1,000 kilowatts is 1,340 horsepower.
Okay,
so
can you just put it in light bulb terms?
that's how many? You know, a dimmable LED.
13. You said 13,400.
No, 1,340
1,340. That's kW kilowatts.
kilowatts. Yeah, here you want to, you know, something.
Light bulbs. Looks like those are all lumens.
Yeah,
Hard to find the transition.
Can I control that with the app? Like
If you had to guess.
on Halloween, can I make it orange?
An orange NASCAR, bolting around with a spooky pumpkin on top.
So you'll watch the WNBA,
Oh God, it's intense.
but
Again,
you won't watch electric NASCAR.
if you love rebounding, I got a game for you. I honestly, I watched NASCAR 20 plus years ago, when it was probably at its height of popularity, maybe ever. Mm-hmm. And it just faded away, and now it's
Just don't care, huh?
no, God no, and especially about this, they're never going to do this.
You don't think so?
No, aren't they sponsored by aren't a lot of
Big
their
oil.
sponsors gas companies like Sunoco and
Yeah, probably.
got their name up? But what are they just going to bring out prop gas cans?
Here, I'm going to show you a quick video. I don't know if this has like any of the actual
Yeah.
car in it or not, but let's check it out.
Engineering and STEM education at an early age. We're joined by members of the Boys and Girls Club and the children of ABB employees to help us
this is
officially unveil the ABB NASCAR EV prototype.
Big crowd there.
This feels like it's at a neighborhood playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Okay, looks like a car.
I mean, in terms of driver comfort, it's not going to get as hot, right? Based on
I don't know. Batteries get pretty hot.
We don't need to upgrade everything, do we? Like, isn't it okay? Weren't we okay before we were sending little tin cans under the Titanic? Aren't we just okay with cars around going zoom around the track?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
All right, so you're not tuning in?
I'm not on board with the NASCAR EV. You know what? I'm going to come out against it.
Okay. That's a bold stance. Okay, before that, we had the Paris Olympics again. The opening ceremony is in just days.
Yes, a handful of days. I'll end up watching, not actively like finding.
Is there a story this year? Remember, like back in the
Yeah, they run around the track fast.
Remember Dan versus Dave? That was probably before your time, I think.
Don't remember that.
That was like 90, maybe 92, Barcelona 92.
Okay.
I think Nike did this big campaign leading up to the Barcelona Olympics, and they had, who is going to be the most elite athlete in the world? Is it Dan or is it Dave? And it was these two U.S. Athletes.
Okay.
And they just tried to put them in the spotlight and create a bunch of buzz about the Olympics, and then one of them ended up not even making the Olympics. Like the biggest disaster, biggest marketing disaster ever. I think it was like Dan O'Brien and Dave. Oh, what the hell was Dave? Maybe it was Dave O'Brien. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I believe
Dan versus Dave.
There are new sports coming.
Yeah, like what? What do we got?
We got three versus three basketball, surfing.
That's not a new sport. That's just in
the Olympics, I should say, right?
Surfing. All right.
Surfing, three versus three basketball, sport climbing,
Okay.
skateboarding, and
Okay.
breaking.
What's breaking?
I don't know.
Huh.
What is?
Do you wanna-
Well, the next question is, what are the new sport breaking? Dancers compete in one-on-one battles consisting of two 60-second
like breakdancing.
throwdowns.
So breaking, as in breakdance, I didn't even occur that would. Okay,
DJs spin the music.
Hold on.
There's a host on the microphone, and 9 judges vote at the end of each battle to decide the winner.
have we found our new sport?
So
Should we be the preeminent breaking podcast?
To be clear, they got rid of baseball, and I believe wrestling, some form of wrestling.
Like Greco-Roman type?
They couldn't have.
Or like,
but they got
we talking like WWE style?
What sports have been removed? Because there's been some decent side.
Okay.
Now, discontinued. Let me go through some discontinued. Cricket, croquet, art
Cricket, that's
competitions.
surprising because that's like the biggest sport in the world.
Yeah. Lacrosse. Polo. Ballooning.
Ballooning?
Like hot air ballooning.
Like racing or just we're up here?
And tug of war.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm not kidding.
There's no way that tug of war was ever in the Olympics.
Tug of war was a regular in the early Olympics from 1900 to 1920. And it wasn't unusual for countries to enter.
All right. We got to bring it back.
Maybe breaking's not that weird.
All right. You know what would be fun is for us to do a live stream of us watching breaking.
Yeah,
like we'll pull it up on the Tron here, and we'll do our own play-by-play.
Yeah, let me see when breaking is.
Oh boy, I'm sure it's not going to be at like 2 a.m. on a Tuesday.
It's not till August 9 and 10. Only 2 days, and it looks to be just those are the medal rounds. I don't know if that's the universal time. 1600 on Friday, so it'd be 4 p.m. Again, I don't know if that's Eastern.
That's a Friday and Saturday, and I'm in town.
Oh, I am not. Bummer.
Okay, guess I'm doing this one on my own.
We should listen. Zoom me in. Okay, hold my face towards the television. Sure, I'll be at the top of some monument in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Right,
but I'd love to get zoomed in to talk breakdancing with you. We'll have to ask our friend if we can get him on, hopefully, Greg Meskel, if he's going to make any time for any of the new events.
Oh, I know. If I know
Olympics.
Greg well enough, he will be there at the breaking event.
We've got the canoe sprint. Now, obviously, you'll be there on July 30 and 31st for cycling BMX freestyle or the racing. What do you prefer? Are you the BMX racing guy?
No,
or
racing, snooze.
Isn't that what Rad was, though, the racing?
Rad was a weird combination of both.
Oh, good.
To put this in perspective, in Rad, it started out as a bike race. So they were racing all through this. They were racing on, it was called Hell Track. At some point, it turned from a race into riding your bike through a life-size cereal bowl and doing a backflip out of it. So I'll let you be the judge on whether it was racing or freestyle.
Now, wrestling is still involved. Shooting, rugby, rowing, judo, hockey. Hockey in the summer?
Field hockey?
You're probably right. Anyway, yes, I will be there. We'll probably have that on most evenings. I end up just listening to Mike Tirico lead me into a bunch of highlights. Oh, I do love the Olympics, Steve.
All right, and finally, we get back to, we just breezed right through these.
That was 5.
Finally, Hawk to a Girl. Her name, I believe, is Haley Welch.
Yeah.
She's gone viral for the Man on the Street style interview from Nashville.
Yeah.
Maybe a month ago when she said, when the question was, what's something that drives a guy wild in bed? Mm-hmm. And she said, I got a hot tour. Spit on my thing.
Yeah.
She captured our hearts. She is the hero that America needs.
She captured a lot of teenage boys' fantasies.
Right.
And has somehow parlayed that.
You know something? I'll be honest. I follow her on Instagram.
Oh, does she have an Instagram now?
She does. Yeah, she's been identified. It seems like she's gearing up for her 15 minutes of fame.
How long until we get the first tell-all from previous sexual partner A who says she didn't?
Yeah, she's not good.
I was there. There was no Hawk or Tua. And she vomited on my carpet.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what she's able to turn this into.
I am not someone who, in general, spites someone for finding fame and notoriety however they see fit.
Do with it what you can. You know, most of us don't ever get that shot. So
to say this is the fringiest of fringe fames, is that a fair thing to say?
I don't think so, honestly.
A TikTok interviewer.
It is so... Fringe would be if it was only people on Reddit or whatever that knew about it. But she has crossed over. Like, everybody knows about this girl now.
I hate to be the cynic. No, I don't. But is there did the interview get cut off? Like, did her friend also answer? And like maybe hers is more outrageous, but because this is like a an attractive blonde girl. She got the news. Sure, she got all the headlines on social media about it. So she says Hawk 2 on that thing. And then the guy moves the microphone to the girl. She's like, but. Right. But that poor girl now is just living with being the one who stood next to.
Yeah. She's background girl.
Yes. When in actuality, the interviewer is going, oh, man, one of these girls is a freak.
Yeah.
And the other is, I don't know. It's not for me.
I'm interested to see what she turns it into, because if you can make the money off of it, it's like NIL. You may not make the pros, so you may as well make as much money off of it as you can right now.
I know she's smart to do it, and if it's offered to you, to not accept it would be dumb.
Like, she's hired a marketing agency and a manager. And
that's what I'm saying. I think if it's offered to you and you don't take it, it's dumb. But it's hard for me to not roll my eyes when 3 days after you're a TikTok sensation, you have hired an entire management team.
Okay, but say we're...
I don't smite her for that. I don't spite her for that. To be very clear, that if it's offered to you, hey, we would love to manage you and try to bring you unseemly amounts of wealth based on this one clip. Yeah, sure. Where do I sign?
Because in 7 years ago, when Team Remax was playing game 1 of the year, if somebody had been recording and watched your tendons in your leg roll up like
all the way,
like the curtain string, and you had a ridiculous cry, like, and everybody knew you as cry softball boy.
Yeah, Achilles baby. Softball Achilles baby.
Yeah, and then the big marketing agency came to you and said, hey, softball Achilles baby, we want to make you a millionaire. You're going to take that opportunity, right?
There's a difference in how I would have done that probably, 15 years ago, right? You're like young, tough guy. You're not going to embarrass me. Delete that from everywhere. And then you get old enough and you can make fun of yourself a little bit. Yeah. You tell me you can, $10? Sure. Off of my scream of pain as my Achilles rolled up like a curtain shade.
Yeah. So you'll be appearing in like the Pepsi Super Bowl commercial next year. And be like, hi, I'm Kyle, AKA softball Achilles baby.
It's weird to see it happen. I went and saw one of my favorite movie franchises ever is the Bad Boys franchise with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. So I was one of the first in line to see the newest entry when it came out earlier last month. Went to the IMAX theater. Never do these things. And there was one scene where they were Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are arguing on a corner about something. It doesn't matter. And someone walks by in the background, but the camera's way too focused on them, and he just kind of stops and does a shrug. And I looked at my friend who was with it. What happened? Who was? Is that someone I should know? He didn't know. And Katie said, "Oh, he's a famous guy from TikTok who just walks by and shrugs when things are happening." So, you know what? Maybe I do hate Hawk to a girl.
TikTok shrug guy.
Let me figure out what he's actually, because there's probably people out there going, "Oh, you don't understand his star power," and.
I got to see if I recognize him now.
Yeah, so TikTok cameo and Bad Boys. TikTok Jacob Scipio.
Oh, I know that guy.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What's his name?
I don't know. It says maybe this isn't the right person. I don't know. I don't have a TikTok, so I can't look on TikTok.
Is it? Hold on. Let me pull this up on the Tron again. We are just breezing through these.
Yeah, this is a quick turnaround.
Is it this guy here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally know him.
That's just what he does right there. Then with his hands.
That's it. Yes.
Shrug guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He watches videos and then shrugs at them.
Okay. I'm back around. Hawk to a girl can go burn in hell. Shrug guy doesn't deserve a penny.
What?
And we're all dying as a society inside.
Oh, come on now. Come on. Oh, yeah, I guess I got to play the music again. Honestly, it's been so long, and it took so long to get through that.
Just wait for my cue.
Fast, fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, first on the list, the debate. Did you watch?
No.
You consumed the post-debate
Did not watch
discourse?
1 second of it.
Good
No.
man. Good man, me neither. Number 2, fireworks.
I'm coming around.
Did you get on board with them this year? With it? And now as Evelyn gets a little bit older, did you go out and get a few boom booms?
Some of the neighbors across the street were lighting some off. So
Cheap Daddy Steve came out to play.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Why should I buy them? Dustin across the street did.
That's Justin with a Y.
No, Dustin. Dustin. We got a Justin and a Dustin.
And a Dustin.
Yeah.
That's a travesty.
Yeah, and then Gustin on the other side.
That's right. He's on the other side of the fence. Number 3, The Bear.
I love it.
Did you watch the new season?
We are, I think, four episodes, maybe 5 episodes.
And we will briefly discuss spoilers.
Boy, that first episode, it was very artistic.
Yeah, it was very different. So look back, yes.
Almost no dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4, John Cena. Did you see the big news that came down last night?
No.
John Cena officially announcing in-ring retirement from the WWE next year. So if you think I'm not paying to go to the Royal Rumble next winter,
imagine the ramp that they're going to have.
I have already booked a hotel room for Indianapolis for the Royal Rumble. Tickets aren't on sale yet. That doesn't matter.
No,
those are secondary. And I will be there when John Cena's music hits, probably with a tear in my eye.
Uh-huh.
As that'll be his last
chanting
Royal
his
Rumble
catchphrase. Ever. I'm John Cena. Does he have one?
I don't know. That was very robotic, though. Maybe that is him. And lastly, our only repeat this week, the Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics. I'm kind of where you are on them. I don't care about them as all the buildup happens.
Right.
And then once it's there, I'll probably watch a little bit of it. It'll be. I guarantee it'll be on at work.
Okay.
In the background.
Yeah, because I don't know the time difference over there. I've never been.
5 or 6 hours.
Okay, so you'll start seeing some events, even for you, maybe wrapping up when you're getting into work.
Yeah, maybe.
And then towards the end of your day, maybe starting or going on as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not an Olympic guy per se, but I enjoy seeing the peak of athletic excellence in a lot of these things.
I enjoy talking to our MOS, our man on the street, Greg Maskell.
Yeah, I hope he gets back to us and we can talk to him live from Paris at some point. We can adjust our schedules to make that happen.
No, we can't. No. Sorry, Greg. You got to wake up at 2 a.m.
Before that, John Cena.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this.
Now, I would argue he's one of the top 3 people who's transcended wrestling in my lifetime.
Yeah.
To become mainstream famous, right? It's
So you're
probably him.
talking The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
To a degree, right? Like Stone Cold was never like an actor per se, but he a ton of shows in terms of reality shows and hosting different things. So yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin's there. Yeah.
Who else?
I would say Batista, who was a wrestler, and he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in the James Bond movie. Yep. Before that, you look at the successes for outside of wrestling. It was like Hulk Hogan, who was notoriously
Macho Man Randy Savage with Slim Jims.
Yeah, and Hulk Hogan, like, notoriously bad at just everything he did. Like, you see him in Rocky, and he, like, as Thunder Lips. And he's Hulk Hogan, right? Like, that's all he knows how to do. So, John Cena announcing his in-ring retirement, which, one of those guys who's been kind of semi-retired for a lot of years anyway.
Now,
back up.
Is he somebody that also has more to do with WWE, like, behind the scenes? Is he on some... Like, I know that The Rock is a chairman or CEO or something. Same with Triple H. Like, they both have roles within the company. Does Cena?
I don't believe so. So The Rock is a board member of TKO, which is the holding group that runs both UFC and WWE, and it's run by a talent agency. So he is behind the scenes in terms of, like, man on the board type of thing. But John Cena, I don't think he is. I don't think he ever has been.
Okay.
He did say, he announced that it will be after he's done, he will have a behind the scenes role. But he's like one of the busiest movie stars in the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he's missing, the Tuesday AM minutes recall at the board meeting, I don't see him suit and tying, walking in and breaking down the newest motion to advance turnbuckle technology.
I was kind of surprised when I saw him pop up in The Bear.
Yes.
In season 3 of The Bear.
And we'll move on to that now. The Bear was number 3 on the list. Cameo filled, as always. That's the only one that stood out to me. Is like it felt not like the universe of The Bear. Now, The Bear, for anybody who doesn't know, a Hulu show based on someone who wants to run and create a restaurant after his brother passes away unexpectedly, and follows his journey and travails, and has become a critical darling and a commercial success.
Yeah, Jeremy Allen White.
To where superstars want to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. Like,
it did seem a little bit. I don't know. The characters in that show strike me as so authentic.
Yeah.
So Chicago.
Yeah.
Like just that whole feel. And Cena had I think that was the last episode we watched, so I don't know if his role continues or not. But yeah, it seemed a little forced, but I was like, oh, John Cena. I like John Cena. Like it didn't seem like he fit in with that universe.
Yeah, it just the way he looks and everything. Like I don't know, he kind of emotes star.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's a big dude,
sure,
broad shouldered, loud voice, and everybody on that show is like it's a lived in sweater.
Yeah,
that show, right? So they're all kind of slight people with random tattoos. They're all smoking cigarettes out back. Like none of them have that type of feeling when they're on screen. But yeah, the Cena one. But no, this show, Katie and I finished it in a little over a week. Least favorite season.
Okay.
I did not overall enjoy it.
All right.
I shouldn't say didn't enjoy. It was fine. It did not live up to the heights of season 1 and 2.
Tough to, though.
I had been telling friends when talking about The Bear coming out that I had still not, honestly, physically recovered and emotionally recovered from the season 2 finale of this show, which for one calendar
Christmas
year,
episode or Thanksgiving or Christmas.
That was episode 8. Episode 10, which was the season finale, was where the bear gets stuck in the freezer. And
yes.
Everything came to such a strong head in this episode 10 that I was audibly going, oh, come on. And I felt awful afterwards and actively thought about not watching the season.
I got to go back and watch that episode again.
I can't. I was reminded just enough of it, and they'll give you more reminders as the rest of the season goes on, Steve, in season 3 of The Bear. But yeah, it seems to sneak up and take the world by storm. But it's this type of show that really makes me miss weekly television releases.
Yeah, because you can just blow through it so quickly.
This doesn't need to be a binge. I didn't want this to be a binge, but it's there, and I feel like if I don't, I'm putting myself at risk for finding out stuff I don't want to find out about things I haven't watched.
You said you knocked it out in a week?
Yeah, a little over a week. Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably a week in, and I think we're 4 or 5 episodes in.
Yeah, I would have appreciated a weekly release. So you leave one episode, you're like, whoa, can you believe how that ended, or what's going to happen next? Mm-hmm. They're not giving you that opportunity. We haven't had that really since Game of Thrones, where that really took over the discourse on a weekly basis. Maybe Succession to a slightly lesser degree, but I don't know. I miss that. The idea of binge watching, I think, was a better idea than as I get older than what it actually is. Before that, fireworks said you pawned it off on your neighbors.
Fireworks, they didn't bother me as much this year as they have in the past. I think I'm coming around to whatever. Just it's only a couple days. I can deal with it. Oh wow, that's pretty cool display.
But didn't buy your own to have your children enjoy. Watch Dad jog away from the big booms.
No. I think next year will probably be the year, because the downside is it's by the time it gets dark here and the fireworks start, it's almost 10 o'clock. And for, we're not super strict on bedtime, but bedtime's typically 7:30, 8 o'clock for our kids. Yeah. So that's staying up an extra 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think next year will be the year that.
Hear me out here.
What do you got?
You just do them early.
But you can't see them.
Who cares? They're kids. They're forgetting this thing tomorrow. There's a new trinket that they found on the floor. That's the new light of their life. They're not going to remember those things at all.
That's true. Either that, or we just got to travel to the other side of the time zone.
That's right. That's true. Just
so it's
head
darker,
towards the East Coast.
Darker earlier.
We got to go to the motherland.
That's true.
you and I have to next year do 4th of July in the
Seaside
motherland.
Heights.
I turned to Katie at one point when we were doing fireworks, and I said, "This should be a photograph. I've never felt closer to Jersey scum than I do right now." I was running around barefoot in the driveway.
Good.
And
Wife beater on.
Rita and I had to wear our matching shirts. I bought us matching shirts a while ago. They are Jaws button-ups. Okay, so it's the poster of Jaws, which is the word Jaws.
Yeah.
The silhouette of the woman
the
swimming.
swimmer.
And the big shark coming up from underneath. He has one, I have one. We both wore them on the 4th of July. I was so hot, I had it unbuttoned to like mid-level chest.
Okay, so you're looking a bit Razgoo-ish.
So I'm half Razgoo as I'm leaning over with a blowtorch, lighting the
Nice
fuses.
going blowtorch. I like it.
Lighting the fuses on these fireworks. And I told Katie, I said, I'm sweaty. Mm-hmm. I look like trash. This is it. This is how I feel. So yeah, I think next year, maybe you and I make the commute for the 4th out to the motherland.
Okay. All right, I'm on board.
And lastly, Steve, the debate. You didn't watch, you didn't partake in the discourse. Give us all your thoughts now.
Well, it's just like everyone else has said. A country of 70 million people. This is the best we got. These two.
It's a pretty bad outlook.
These two fossils.
Oh, it's okay. You could, no, that's not true. You could vote for the Kennedy who ate a dog.
Is that what gave him the brain worm that ate his brain?
Right. Or the Kennedy who provided a measles outbreak in an African nation because he's an anti-vaxxer.
Okay.
Or, you never know.
Isn't it bad that that's kind of our best bet right now?
It's all sad.
All right. At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Wow, this went a lot longer than we had expected it to go. It's going to put a bit of a time crunch on next week's episode because, spoiler, we're recording it now.
No!
All right. Talk to you next week. See ya.